In a world dominated by digital connections, utility bills, traffic jams, and data tracking, a growing number of Americans are saying, enough. They are leaving behind their suburban lives, city apartments, and even careers to live off the grid. Living off the grid refers to a lifestyle that operates independently from public utilities, especially electricity, water, and sewage. But for many, it goes beyond technical disconnection. It's a full social and psychological detachment from modern institutions, government, healthcare, finance, and mass media. For some, it's about building solar powered cabins in the woods. For others, it's about farming, homeschooling, bartering, and living debt free. It's about autonomy, owning your time, your food, your energy, and your choices. There are different types of off grid living. First is energy independent, using solar panels, wind turbines, or generators instead of power companies. Second, water independent, gathering rainwater, digging wells, filtering stream water. Most popular nowadays is food secure, growing your own crops, hunting, raising chickens or goats. One more is communication optional, avoiding phones, credit cards, or government IDs. And then there are the truly deep off-gridders who disappear entirely. No phone, no bank account, no digital footprint. Who are the off-gridders? They're not all hippies or conspiracy theorists. Engineers who build their own hydro systems, single moms raising kids on goat farms, veterans healing from trauma in the wilderness, millennials disillusioned with capitalism, boomers seeking peace after burnout, YouTubers documenting their journey to millions of views. It's not one lifestyle, it's a spectrum of sovereignty. Of course, it's not all peaceful mornings and wildflowers. As we'll see later, living off the grid comes with intense challenges: legal, physical, emotional, and social. But first, let's meet someone who's doing it, truly, fully, and with a spark in his eye. His name is Billy, and he lives deep in the mountains of Montana. In the northwestern edge of Montana, just beyond the last paved road, there's a cabin that doesn't exist on Google Maps. There are no wires leading to it, no mailbox, no Wi-Fi signal. But every morning just before sunrise, a man named Billy wakes up to a world that's fully alive and fully unplugged. He chops wood barefoot, fills a tin kettle from the creek, heats it over an old cast iron stove, then he steps outside into the crisp silence of the Rockies. "This is my America," Billy says, gesturing toward nothing but trees. Not the one on TV, not the one with passwords and debt and opinions, just this. Billy is 49 years old. His beard is streaked with gray. His fingers are calloused from years of cutting timber. His voice is low, like gravel under boots. He lives in a 14 by 18-foot log cabin that he built himself. The walls are insulated with wool. There's no plumbing. He bathes in a spring. His toilet is a compost bucket that he empties once a week under a thick layer of pine needles. His food? Whatever he can grow, catch, or trade. In summer, that means vegetables: carrots, potatoes, onions, beans. In winter, it means deer, elk, rabbit, and jerky from the fall. Electricity comes from a small solar panel nailed to a tree. It powers one light bulb and a radio. That's all. "I don't need anything else," Billy says. "Not really. I used to have a fridge, a microwave, a two-car garage. Didn't make me happy, just made me tired." Billy didn't always live like this. 2 decades ago, he was a senior sales executive for a telecom company in Portland. He wore suits, ate sushi, drove a leased BMW, owned a house with a mortgage and a lawn he never had time to mow. "From the outside, I looked successful," Billy says, "but I felt hollow, like my life was a rented costume." Then came 2008. The financial crash wiped out his 401k, his marriage, and his faith in the system, all within a year. He went from cocktails and skyscrapers to ramen in a rented room. He spiraled into anxiety and silence. "It was like I woke up from a dream and didn't recognize the world. The bills didn't stop, the calls didn't stop, but my soul did." One night in 2011, he drove east. No plan, no destination, just the need to escape. He ended up in a national forest near the Montana-Idaho border, camped illegally for a month, ate trout, watched the sky, felt something like peace for the first time in years. "That was my rebirth," he says. "I wasn't scared, I was home. Billy never went back to Portland. He bought 10 acres of raw land for $8,000 using the last of his savings and started building. No blueprints, just books, YouTube videos downloaded at the library, and his hands. The cabin took 2 years. The wood stove was traded for labor. A neighbor gave him windows. Every piece of the house has a story and scars. This place isn't perfect, Billy admits, but it's mine and it works. He now lives on less than $5,000 a year. He sells handmade knives and firewood to tourists during summer. Sometimes he works part-time fixing cabins, but most days he's alone, fishing, fixing fences, reading by candlelight. Billy's life isn't easy, but it's deliberate. Each chore is a ritual. Each day is shaped by the sun, not a calendar. He doesn't wake up to an alarm. He wakes up to the need for firewood or the smell of fresh snow. There's no weekend here, he jokes. There's just work and rest, and both are beautiful. He doesn't call it off the grid. He calls it on my own terms. Billy has no internet, no phone, no credit cards. He hasn't filed taxes in over 10 years, not out of protest, but because he doesn't make enough to owe anything. He keeps journals, dozens of them, filled with poetry, weather notes, sketches, and thoughts about society. Here's one entry from last winter. We used to hunt for food. Now we hunt for Wi-Fi. We used to need each other. Now we need subscriptions. I'm not a rebel. I'm a refugee from convenience. Billy is not anti-government. He's not a prepper. He doesn't believe in conspiracy theories or doomsday timelines. He just believes in simplicity. I'm not escaping America, he says. I'm returning to it. The version where a man can build his life with his hands. And yet, Billy isn't completely alone. Once a month, he hikes 6 miles to a small town with a post office. He sends letters to his sister, picks up supplies, buys nails or flour, then disappears again into the trees. He knows this lifestyle isn't for everyone. You gotta be okay with silence, he says, with fixing things yourself, with being your own company. Still, he says he's never been more fulfilled. I'm not rich in dollars, Billy says, but I'm rich in time, in peace, in knowing who I am. And when we ask him if he misses his old life, the office, the car, the digital world, he just smiles, not even a little. Billy's story is not an anomaly. It's a signal. Across the United States, more and more people are asking a difficult question. What if the American dream was never built for me? And once they ask that, the next question comes easily. How do I get out? Aries 1, our financial collapse of the middle class. The most common motivation behind going off-grid isn't political, it's economic. In 2024, the average U.S. household carried $101,915 in debt. This includes credit cards, $6,500 plus, auto loans, $28,000, student loans, $37,000, mortgage balances, $200,000 for homeowners. And the average savings account? Just $5,300. For many, it feels like modern life is a treadmill where the speed keeps increasing, but the scenery never changes. Wages haven't kept up, rent skyrocketed, groceries are 18% higher than before the pandemic, energy prices are unstable. So the math becomes simple. Work 50 hours a week to survive, or work 20 hours a week to live with less. According to a 2024 Gallup poll, 62% of Americans say they feel financially trapped. 41% believe they will never retire. No wonder off-grid videos on YouTube now attract millions of views. People are looking for an exit strategy. The second biggest driver? Healthcare. The U.S. has the most expensive healthcare system in the world, and yet over 30 million people remain uninsured. Medical bills are the number one cause of bankruptcy. The average ER visit without insurance costs $3,000 to $5,000. Monthly insulin for diabetics, $350 to $500 without subsidies. In the city, one broken leg can destroy your finances, says Carla, a 34-year-old single mom who now lives off-grid in a converted bus in New Mexico. Out here, I still risk getting hurt, but at least I'm not bleeding money every month. Living off-grid doesn't guarantee safety, but it shifts the balance, avoiding high-cost, insurance-based dependency, prioritizing natural wellness, preventive care, and physical labor, accepting risk in exchange for autonomy. This is a trade-off many Americans are now willing to make. Bureaucratic exhaustion and the decline of trust. Living in society means endless paperwork, taxes, registrations, renewals, certifications, subscriptions. For some, it feels like death by 1,000 forms. In 2023, Pew Research reported only 20% of Americans say they trust the federal government to do the right thing. 58% believe government policies benefit the rich over the working class. 70% think the system is rigged. This erosion of institutional trust is pushing people towards self-governance. Off-gridders often cite moments of bureaucratic frustration, property taxes, child custody hearings, zoning laws, as the final straw that pushed them toward independence. I used to ask for permission to live, says a homesteader in Appalachia. Now I just live. 4. Technology burnout and the attention economy. Americans spend an average of 7 hours a day looking at screens, nearly 49 hours a week, more than a full-time job. The result? Anxiety, distraction, sleep disruption, social isolation despite constant connection, addiction to algorithms that prioritize outrage over truth. For many off-gridders, the issue isn't just the content, it's the control. Every ad, every post, every video is designed to pull your mind somewhere else, says Lauren, a 29-year-old off-grid farmer in Idaho. I wanted my brain back. The attention economy has real costs. Depression and suicide rates among teens have doubled since 2010. ADHD diagnoses have increased 40% in the past decade. Americans now touch their phones 2,617 times per day. For off-gridders, freedom means more than solar panels. It means mental space. Environmental collapse and climate resilience. From megadroughts to megafires, America's environment is cracking under the pressure of industrialization and climate change. Between 2015 and 2024, the U.S. experienced $145 billion weather disasters. Over 25 million acres of forest burned. Comer urbanites. Key 30, installing permaculture farms. Gen Z, climate activists, building earth homes and greenhouses. Middle-aged professionals joining intentional communities to prepare for collapse. They're not hiding from the world. They're trying to outlast it. The system won't save us, says one Oregon off-gridder, so we built our own. The people living off the grid aren't trying to escape. They're trying to remember. And maybe, just maybe, we should be listening. Thanks for watching. If this story made you think, inspired you, or opened your eyes to a different way of life, leave a like, share it, and subscribe for more powerful stories about the people reshaping the American dream.